Good morning, BookTube. Jim here. Welcome to Mystery and Mayhem. Today we'll be doing just a bit of an update. Now, first of all, before I begin, I meant to do this ages ago, like a few videos ago. I reached 150 subscribers. I think it's at 167 right now. I wanted to thank everybody who subscribes to me. I mean, that's might not be a big number compared to some of the other booktubers, but I mean, I was pretty happy to see that, and I hope it just keeps growing, and I hope you guys enjoy my channel and subscribe if you do enjoy it. Thank you very much. Now, to start with, I was going to do an October update on what I read for Occult Detective October, but all the books I've read, I kind of put back on the swirling miasmic purgatory that are my bookshelves. So they're all dispersed now, so I can't really show them to you, but I think I kind of did an update in one of my last videos regarding what I read. I mean, I really enjoyed Occult Detective October. I think it was a great opportunity for me to really get into BookTube and sink my teeth into the whole thing. It was it came at an opportune moment for me, just starting my channel and trying to find my legs, so to speak. So thanks to MJ for that, from Reading This Life, for that book tag. It was a lot of fun. There is one thing I do want to show you, though, which was the whole purpose of the Occult Detective October, was to promote this magazine, this periodical, which is Occult Detective Magazine. This is issue number 10. It should still be available on Amazon. That's where I got it from. This is just an incredible magazine, and I think more people have to buy this magazine, and I just want to get the word out there, as well as other booktubers wanted to get their word out on this. It really is a fantastic magazine. The stories are great. I mean, there's articles in here, and if you're into anything supernatural, horror, detective, I mean, this is the magazine for you. So yeah, look for this and pick it up and give it a shot. It's well worth it. Okay, so next on the agenda, I wanted to get involved in the Dr. No-Vember book tag created by Mark over at Book Time with Elvis. Which is a lot of fun. Again, that's something that's right up my alley. I mean, I got into James Bond when I was got early high school, if not before that, where I picked up a few used James Bond novels, Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Diamonds Are Forever, and after that point, I was hooked on the Bond books. I've got them all, multiple editions on my shelves. Excuse me, and I've read them and reread them. So this book tag is just a great opportunity. But that being said, since I've read them so many times, I'm not going to read a whole bunch of Bond. I am going to reread From Russia with Love by Ian Fleming in this old Pan edition. It's my favorite James Bond novel is Dr. No, and you think because of the name of the book tag, Dr. No-Vember, I would read Dr. No, but no, I decided to read From Russia with Love because it's got a little bit more of a Cold War feel to it, and it is such a brilliantly written novel. And as for the movies, From Russia with Love still to this day is my favorite James Bond movie, and probably always will be. But Dr. No is my favorite novel, this being probably a close second. But I will be reading that one for the challenge, and it's so good. I mean, so yes, James Bond, he is definitely a product of his time. He's misogynistic, brutal, but he got the job done. That's probably what made him such a good secret agent. But yeah, give that one a shot. And as for what I'll be reading, that's probably, I won't get to that right away, but what I'm reading now is one of the Sam Durrell novels, Assignment: The Girl in the Gondola by Edward S. Ahrens. Now he's an American secret agent, and for those of you who don't know, there's like 48 books in the series, and they're from Fawcett Gold Medal, and which did awesome stories back in the day. They had some great writers back in the day, and these stories are a lot of fun. So, the girl in the gondola. Durrell could recognize that special knife thrust as the favorite technique of Helmut Dienhoff, commander of Moscow's Deadly Blue Squad 4, elite professional assassins who could kill a man in any of 100 brutal ways. Could Lisette Paulini tell him what Dienhoff was after, or was she luring Durrell to his death among the ancient monuments of Venice? So that's the one I think I'm reading right now as part of Dr. No-Vember. And I have 20 of these, but I just picked a couple to read. This one's Assignment Tokyo. A small, innocent-looking container had been washed ashore in the little Japanese fishing village of Harashima, except it was not so innocent. It contained the hideous results of a successful scientific research, a bit of biological warfare gone astray. The curious fisherman who'd opened it did not live long enough to discover what he'd caught. And so it started, a deadly plague that threatened all life on Earth. So far, only one person had survived the disease, a frightened girl who was totally unaware that she carried in her lovely young body the precious secret of immunity. Now she had vanished without a trace, and Sam Durrell found himself heading up the most macabre woman hunt in history. So yeah, those are very cool, worth checking out or finding at your used bookstore if you get a chance. Now this one, No-Vember Man by Bill Grainger. Now he wrote a series of these novels, and this is appropriate for Dr. No-Vember. This was a movie with Pierce Brosnan, and they actually renamed the book. It was originally called There Are No Spies. And he's got a series, looks to be maybe about 15 to 20 in the whole series. And I picked this up when the movie came out. I watched the movie, but I never got around to reading the novel. So I'm going to read that as part of Dr. No-Vember. And apparently they're really good. Like I said, there's quite a few in the series, and by Bill Grainger, and apparently they're really good. So I'm going to give that a shot this month. Let's see. Nick Carter, Circle of Scorpions. Now, Nick Carter was a character that started out the early 1900s. He was like a private investigator in early like early 1900s America, and he's very popular in his time. But once Bond Mania came around in the 60s, they refurbished the character into this secret agent type character. So I've read a couple of these over the years, and they're a lot of fun. It's not great literature, but as I said, they were fun, and it fits right into this month of Dr. No-Vember, and that's kind of a cool cover there. And of course, it's got the KGB in it. Nick Carter knows that the KGB has called a meeting of all the world's terrorists. It's a party he wants to crash. The only problem is he doesn't know where or when. But espionage has its own deadly etiquette, and the help of a beautiful double agent and a black market death merchant, N3 proves that there are ways to get invited to even the most exclusive and most dangerous affairs. So that's Nick Carter. And probably one of the masters of the Cold War spy novels, Len Deighton, Berlin Game, with an awesome cover. Now, this is the first part of a trilogy, Game, Set, and Match. I think Berlin Game, Mexico Set, London Match, I think was the last one. I've got the first two. I'm going to have to find the third novel in the trilogy, but Len Deighton's always, worth the money. Very good writer, and I'm looking forward to it. This has been on my shelf forever. I think I started to read it years ago when I kind of DNF'd it, and I can't remember why. But I'm going to give that one another shot and give that a read this month. So that's it for what I'm going to read for Dr. No-Vember. But it's also to read what you... Oh, I almost forgot to. I ordered The Spy Who Came In From the Cold by John le Carre, because I kind of wanted to get involved in the buddy read challenge that Mark and Um, I'm going to have to list them down in the description below. I know Mark was involved. I think Steve Donahue, Greg. So yeah, I'll find out who's involved and I'll list their names down below. But I wanted to get involved in the buddy read, so that book's coming Monday. I don't have that on my shelf, which is kind of my bad. I should have had that on my shelf years ago. But I'm kind of looking forward to reading that. I don't know how the buddy read works, but I'll try to find out and get involved in that. But yeah, next, the Read What You Own challenge. Now, I plan on doing 50 books to read 50 books till the beginning of April, but I might not make 50. You know, I mean, Gareth over at Books, Songs, and Other Magic, he had a interesting way of doing it. He gave himself a time frame, but he didn't necessarily give himself a total of books he was going to read in that time frame. It was just, you know, however many books he managed to read within that time frame. That was the goal he was setting for himself, and to me, that seems a little better because there's not a lot of stress on you, not a lot of pressure. Oh, I got to make that 50 number. You know, you just read whatever you can. You just make sure you read every chance you can, and you read as many books as you can. And who knows? It might be 25, might be, you know, you might make the 50, you might go over 50, you might make it to 75 or 100. So, but as I said at the, you know, in my other video, I'll try for 50 and see how I do. And I haven't really been focused enough to pick out the 50 books. I've been kind of all over the place, but I have chosen some. I think I was gonna focus and do like a hard-boiled mystery reading challenge. I was gonna focus on a lot of my PI books that I have, and then to be honest, when I started the channel, that was going to be my focus. I was going to focus on private eye mystery fiction, because that's, like, since I've been reading and collecting, that's been one of my primary focuses, is to collect as many private eye books and novels as I can. And I've got a pretty extensive collection. I've got Mike Shane up here, a whole bunch of those old paperbacks, Lawrence Block, Amos Walker, Mickey Spillane, you know, Raymond Chandler, Ross McDonald, Dashiell Hammett, you know, and but I didn't want to limit myself on the Read What You Own challenge and just do that. So I've got this set of books that I'm going to read during the challenge. These are about 12. And then in another video, I'll show you more of what I intend to read. These books are called The Time Wars. This is number 2. I've got number 1 on order. It should be here in December sometime. I've got all of them but number 1. So these are books by Simon Hawke. And I'm going to read the back for you just so you can get an idea what it is. Time Wars. At first, the discovery of minus time seemed like a blessing. Countries at war could fight their battles in the past rather than destroy the present. But now the situation was desperate. Humanity faced the danger of a temporal split with incalculable consequences as a result of attempts to change the past. So Captain Lucas Priest, a seasoned veteran of the Temporal Corps, was dispatched to 17th century France in the world of Cardinal Richelieu and the Three Musketeers. He must infiltrate the terrorist underground called the Timekeepers and put an end to their mad schemes forever, whatever forever means. So that's number 2 in this series. This one's a Pimpernel plot. Now this reads a lot to me like the Fritz Leiber's Change War, and in his book The Big Time. I mean, it might have been influenced by that. I'm not too sure because I haven't read any of these. The Zenda Vendetta. I mean, look at these, are very cool covers, and I'm glad I have these editions. And I'm not sure if they've ever been reprinted, to tell you the truth. The Nautilus Sanction. The Kyber Connection. Simon Hawke. That one's got a wraparound cover. The Argonaut Affair. Look at that. And that one's got a wraparound cover too. So these just sound like a lot of fun. Just traveling to the past and righting wrongs and setting the past right. And this one, the Dracula Caper. A plague of vampires and werewolves falls on Victoria's England in the late 1800s, but there's nothing supernatural about these creatures. They're genetically engineered monsters from the far future, dropped into the past as a devilish tactic in the Time Wars. And Arthur Conan Doyle and H.G. Wells make an appearance in this book, so that I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Lilliput Legion. The Hellfire Rebellion. Cleopatra Crisis. Now that would have been perfect for Roy Reed's anything for his No-Vember, but I should be able to get to it in November. I don't know. It's we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's an awesome cover. That's the only Cleopatra book I have in all my shelves that I could find anyway. And this one, finally, number 12, the Six Gun Solution. And you know that deals with the gunfight at the OK Corral and has Wyatt Earp in it. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. They just look like a lot of fun. I mean, it's not great literature, but they're a lot of fun, and it might be more suited to Garbaugust. But a lot of my books are. I mean, yeah. What else do I want to talk about? That's pretty much it. I think I just wanted to. I wish I could have done a wrap up for October books, but I mean, I dealt with them in other videos, and I don't think you guys will feel left out at all if I don't wrap up my October reads. Yeah, so that's it for now. I mean, it's as of filming this, it's Sunday morning, and it's a beautiful day on this November 5th, and yeah, so tomorrow, Read What You Own challenge starts, and I won't be buying any more books. You know, I mean, I know a few you guys have exceptions. You give yourself exceptions in the challenge if you do come across some books that you really want or you've been looking for, or there's just a deal you can't pass up. And, you know, if that happens, it happens. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Take care, everyone. Be safe and keep reading.